Hi everyone, my name's Zoe. I'm writing my paper on female serial killers and their motives, but today I just wanted to talk about how the media represents murderers in general and also male and female murderers because it is a little bit different. The media is one of the most influential things in our time. Videos, social media, newspapers, the access of information that everybody has is absolutely insane. And people want shock value. They are interested in the most gory, disgusting, terrible things, and they want to read about it and they want to know about it. One of the most recent heinous cases was the case of Gabby Petito and Brian Landry. There's been 10 BBC articles written about him still being published today, even though this happened 3 years ago. And all of the articles are talking about him, not the victim, trying to almost rationalize or give a reason for why he did what he did, why he took her into the woods for weeks on their road trip and then ended up killing her, lied about it, said something else entirely happened, which is the same in the other cases that I want to talk about that just were so notable and so huge in America that they kind of gave these terrible, awful people attention when they 100% did not deserve it. Another big one, similar-ish to the Brian Landry, Gabby Petito case, is Jodi Arias. She, in Arizona in 2011, I want to say, videotaped her killing her boyfriend. She left him there for days. She lied about it, said that intruders did it. And then once she finally came clean about her premeditated murder, her and her defense attorney tried to argue that her victim, her boyfriend, tried to assault her. And this just gave her even more attention. It tends to be the case with the media and female killers that they try and describe them as emotional killers, heat of the moment, passionate. Her lawyer even said she snapped in the sudden heat of passion after Alexander attacked her. Based on the video evidence that was given, this just isn't true. But again, in the 6 BBC articles that have been published about her, it's still being talked about. They're still trying to vilify him and almost justify her murder, which is something that the media tends to do a lot. I think that the media tends to, like I said earlier, try and rationalize things. People want to understand, but the way that the media goes about spreading information, talking about victims, talking about accused murderers or even convicted murderers are completely different and are oftentimes backwards. The next 2 similar cases are the same thing. Casey Anthony was acquitted of the murder of her 4-year-old daughter in 2011. She is still being talked about today. There was just a documentary released. There's news articles being posted about her to date, still giving her attention. It was the first trial that was ever broadcasted live to America. People said it's a real-life soap opera. All the thrills you might expect to get from an episode of Law & Order are happening in real life. It was the notoriety of the case that got people. And people still don't know what happened, and people just are still wondering and giving her more attention. And arguably one of the biggest cases in the past 10 years in America was the case of Chris Watts, who murdered his pregnant wife and 2 daughters and then lied about it, but he was convicted. All 4 of these cases were about a mentally ill individual who murdered one person, 3 people, but the media still gave them so much attention and notoriety because they wanted to figure out why they did what they did, that it has completely warped anything surrounding their cases. Like, there are diehards for every single one of these people, and I think that the media, in the way that they handle killers and serial killers and anything in that regard, is entirely warped and irresponsible. I think that it's reckless the way that the media talks about these people, and that they don't realize the impact that it truly does have on the victims' families and people who have been affected by similar crimes. I just think that it doesn't really get through to these people. All they care about is money, shock value, and notoriety. And I just think that it is, again, extremely irresponsible.